Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another video. On this one, guys, I'm going to be doing some Mutant CrystalZ, and I thought I'd make a bit of a video to show you guys what the process is. So I've just got some grey Scotch-Brite here. A guy actually come into the showroom the other day, and he was saying that he was having a bit of trouble trying to get the Mutant CrystalZ to form and stuff like that on this drum. So this is actually a drum that you beat with sticks. So he wants the inside and the outside done in Mutant CrystalZ with a Reef Blue candy over the top. Now, when he said he had a bit of trouble getting the Mutant CrystalZ to form, I said, well, look, how about you bring it in, bring the boss a bottle of red wine, and I'll make a video about how to actually paint it in the Mutant CrystalZ. So as it sits right now, it's been painted in silver base coat, the silver flare. He's tried applying the Mutant CrystalZ over the top. It's got extremely small crystals all over it. So being that this hasn't been clear coated, it really needs to be sanded down again and have all the Mutant CrystalZ removed. So it's very, very slimy and stuff like that. It's got some dust or fluff or something on it. So I've just got some grey Scotch-Brite and some warm water. So Mutant CrystalZ is really good because you can just wash it off if you're not happy with the pattern and reapply the crystals. Now, being that this hasn't been like clear coated, I'm going to scuff it down with water. I'm going to really thoroughly go over it with the Scotch-Brite so we get adhesion when we go and put our base coat over the top. So I'm going to redo this whole process and get a really good result for the guy. So yeah, we're just going to scuff it down, get all the Mutant CrystalZ off it, and we'll start fresh. So the metallic that he's actually used is it's actually not silver flare. I just remembered it's actually called smash metal. So it's a extremely coarse metallic which has like a metal flake in it, which looks really, really cool as one of the colors for the Mutant CrystalZ. So not only that, but also when you put a candy over this color, it looks really, really good. So yeah, it looks like he hasn't even got coverage, 100% coverage here. I'm seeing a lot of transparent areas. So again, that's why I'm going to go over it and make it look $1,000,000. So when you're scuffing down stuff, guys, doesn't matter if it's a part on your car or a drum like this, make sure you sand all the edges, because if paint was ever going to flake off, it's always going to start from an edge and it's just going to keep going over onto the face of your part. So yeah, if you can scuff it all down, you'll get a much nicer job. So we'll scuff this down and we'll throw it in the booth and I'll show you the next step. So apologies, number one, apologies for not putting up any videos as of late over the past probably month. I actually went away to Thailand for 3 weeks. So it's one of those things. I actually planned a holiday to Thailand before COVID, and obviously when COVID come in, that put a hold on the holiday. So we actually lost out on a bit of money when that happened, which was a bit of a bummer. It was that time to rebook, and yeah, me and the missus went over to Thailand, which was pretty cool. I went and spent 22 hours over 3 days getting a tattoo on my leg. So not sure how much of that you can see, but so we've got a there's a chick and a spray mask up here, holding a spray gun, squirting paint over my leg. Yeah, it's probably a bit hard to see that, but yeah, so 22 hours in the chair. I tell you what, that was probably the most painfulest thing I've done in quite a very, very long time. If you're ever planning on getting a big tattoo like I got done, yeah, maybe reconsider it. Because it is super, super painful. As you can imagine, you know, like getting a tattoo, especially for those sort of hours too, 22 hours. I think the first day I was in the chair for 6 hours. The second day was 8 hours, and I think the third day was 11 hours. It was pretty full on. I did take painkillers and that, which kind of took the edge off it a little bit. Still extremely painful, of course. But yeah, I mean, I just kept on saying to myself in my head, if you want it this bad, you'll stick through all the pain. And yeah, I managed to get it done, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So got it done at Bloodline Tattoo in Phuket. I've actually had like previous tattoos done by the guys down there, and they do a pretty good job. So that's it. So just having a bit of an overall look at this, I can see that the metallic hasn't been applied evenly, and I think that might be one of the reasons why the guy had a lot of trouble getting the crystals to form. Now, well, like whenever I've done the Mutant crystals, I've always had full coverage of the base coat. Now this doesn't have full coverage. It is very motley, it's uneven, it's very transparent. So obviously that's an indication that he hasn't put enough base coat down. Now, whether that's to say that's the reason why the crystals didn't form, I don't believe that's the issue here. When it comes to Mutant crystals, guys, the ideal, perfect, I guess, time to do it is pretty much now. So it's about, I don't know what the temperature is today, but the lower the humidity, the better the crystals are going to form. Now, if you have a good look at this, you'll see that one half is actually darker and a little bit more in your face than the other side. Now, when it comes to the Scotch-Brite stage with water, once the crystals have formed and you've applied your two colors, when you scuff it down, guys, you really got to scuff it down extremely lightly. Now, all you really want to be doing with the Scotch-Brite is actually sanding the top of the crystals, you really got to be sanding lightly, so you're sanding the tops of the crystals off. So all the black paint which has been applied on over the top, you're sanding that off, but you're leaving the black base coat in between the crystals. Now you can see a really good example of that on this side, where on this side it's a little bit lighter. So that's an indication that you've either scuffed it too hard and you've actually sanded in between the crystals. Another way that can be caused is if you haven't applied enough black base coat over the top of the crystals. So 9 times out of 10, when you're looking at stuff like this, you've sanded too hard. So that's one thing to look out for, guys. If you want really nice crystals like this, scuff extremely lightly. Anyway, guys, we've got our Reef Blue candy colors here. We'll reduce that 1:1 with a candy reducer. We're going to be applying our Smash Metal Metallic mixed at 60-40. Yeah, we'll be using the Welcome spray guns. We've got the Evo here, HTE. Now, I did get requested to do a video on the on the Geo spray gun. Now, that will come at some stage. It's one of those things I don't really want to do a video about it because it's very similar to the Evos. Now, the only real difference is it atomizes the paint just a little bit better. Now, the Geo, a lot of people don't know this, but the Geo is actually a HVLP spray gun, where the Evos are HTE spray gun. So it's more suited for the guys that are probably a little bit old school, that have been painting for like 20 plus years, and they're used to the HVLP spray guns. So you've now got, I guess, the technology of these newer spray guns with the air caps and the nozzles, and how they atomize is equivalent now to the Geo. So it's a HVLP old technology, I guess, but it atomizes very similar to the Evo and the MP air cap. So that's the reason why I'm a little bit undecided whether I want to do a review on that Geo spray gun. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. We're going to be jumping straight in the booth now. Let's apply our Smash Metal Metallic. Now, when it comes to applying the Mutant Crystals, guys, I like to take the part and take it out of the booth. So we'll go set up an area where we can do this without making a big mess, maybe out on that table out there. So we'll open that up. So no forced drying, guys. So no constant air blowing over the crystals, like over the liquid, trying to make it dry faster. It's not gonna work out for you. If you want all those big crystallized patterns, like on those pieces I showed you inside the paint room, you must just let it evaporate on its own. All right guys, just got myself a little timer here, and we've got a little GoPro mount there. So we can record how long it's going to take for the crystals to form, and also you'll be able to get a time lapse of the crystals forming. So what I like to do, guys, is just dunk the chuck swipe inside the crystals. You want it pretty wet. Now there's heaps of different ways of doing it. This is my way of doing it. This is the way that I've found out that it works rather well. And what we're going to do, so you can see how wet it is, right? It's pretty wet. So we'll just move that aside. We'll get that out of the way so we don't get it confused. That's something I do. So what we're going to do is basically start applying it. Now, you want to apply it rather wet. Now, one thing I don't like when applying Mutant Crystals is the type of base that you're applying it to. So this base is the smashed metal. Now, being that it's got the metal in it, it is rather coarse, and it's actually tearing our chuck swipe. So what we're going to do is just swing that around, and we're just going to put it on nice and wet, guys. That's all it is. So just nice and wet. All right, now we're going to do the outside, nice and wet. Press start on our little timer. Let's see how long it takes. And we'll take it from there, guys. All right, guys, as you can see here, it's been 27 minutes, 28 minutes on there. So I've decided that I will bring the drum inside. Now the crystals are probably, I don't know, 85% done. I'm not sure how much of that on the GoPro you can actually see, but I decided to bring it inside the booth. Now the booth obviously is turned off. Now I actually applied some crystals on this little arrow shape here. So just to see what the comparison was between putting it outside and leaving it inside the booth. So here you can see that the crystals are definitely forming, and they actually have formed a lot bigger and faster than having it outside. Now I did put the drum right next door to the doorway of the warehouse, so there was a slight breeze coming in. The crystals were forming faster on the side that was facing the door. So I decided to bring it inside the booth, being that the humidity inside the booth at the moment is probably not too bad. It is warm in here, but it's not, obviously the booth's not running, the doors have been left open, etc. Yeah, the crystals are forming really nice on this shape. So I've kept that timer running, so we're at 29 minutes 15 at the moment. So almost half an hour I've been waiting for these crystals to form. The process will be sped up now that it's inside the booth. Now, the beauty about the Mutant Crystals is that if you're unhappy with the crystals, how they're formed, you can just wash it off with water and reapply the crystals. So obviously between washing them off with water, you must obviously dry it and then apply the Mutant Crystals again. So depending on how they form, I will apply the crystals again and see how that turns out. But it's one of those things, because there is so many variables in regards to temperature and humidity, that sometimes you may have to have a second go at it. So, alrighty guys, so round 3, I've managed to get the crystals to form a lot better. As you can see here, we've got lots of crystals on the outside. Now, it's one of those things, as I may have said earlier in the video, that sometimes you may need to reapply the crystals in order to get them to start forming. I put it outside and applied the crystals the first time round. I think it may have been a little bit too cold outside. I brought it inside the booth, done a sample on that shape over here, and they seem to form really good. As you can see here, got lots of crystals over that, and they're rather large, they're all even, it looks really good. So I thought I'd apply it a second time on the outside. I had a lot of crystals forming after about 10 minutes, but again, I wasn't really happy with the results, so I wiped it all off and done the process again. So this is the third time round. So it does look pretty good on the outside here. I've got lots of crystals. But I wasn't happy with the inside. So I've literally just applied the crystals again on the inside. So we'll allow that to dry for probably another 10-15, and then we should be right to apply our over-reduced black base coat. Whew, it's very warm in here. Well, there you go, guys. There's the Smash Metal and the Pure Black Mutant CrystalZ with the Reef Blue candy colours on over the top. Now, I used the Welcome HTE Evo, the 360 Evo. for the clear coat application. I didn't use the MP air cap, just the HTEC in 1.2. It's a really great gun, guys. I love the Welcome guns for the clear coat, being that it is carbon fiber, super light. I probably should have used the Ego 190 for the clear coat, simply because of how tight it was to get my gun inside, to clear the inside. Didn't have too much trouble with putting the candy down. It is one of those things. I think it's come out pretty nice. The Mutant Crystals are fairly even. It did take me 3 goes to get it that even, but I mean, look, it looks pretty nice. It's got that sparkle with the smashed metal. It might be pretty hard to see that on camera. I took a few photos and videos for social media for DNA, and I couldn't seem to pick up the sparkle, but it's definitely there. It does look pretty trick. It does look pretty cool. There's the inside. I think the silver and black Mutant Crystals are probably a little bit more prominent on the outside compared with the inside. The inside has a totally different pattern for some reason. Now, I know that you're gonna expect that with the Mutant Crystals, but I don't know. They're really sharp on the outside, where on the inside they're not so sharp, but they kind of have a different pattern too. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, I just thought I'd make a bit of a video, guys, to show you the application of the candy and the Mutant Crystals. So I ended up using the custom clear, the 4:1 with the medium hardener in it. It's all nice and flat. It's probably a little bit dark to see how flat it is. You can definitely see my reflection on the inside. Being a curved panel, it can be a bit hard to see the finish and that, but looks wicked. Nice and flat, no dust in it. It looks really, really good. I'm quite happy with it. Anyway, guys, appreciate everyone stopping by and watching this video. Kind of needed to put out a video for you guys for this week. I kind of promised myself at the start of this year that I'll put out a video every single week, 1 video per week, being consistent. And I kind of went on holiday and that kind of stuffed that up. So apart from that, guys, hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see you guys next week. We'll have to see about doing a new gun review. But yeah, with that said, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you on my next video.